This video of my hike will cover day 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. It's about trying to get to the hut and my time sheltering in the hut. From Chester's Yards, when I woke up, the weather was bad, and as the day went on, it got worse. It was the hut broke. As the weather worsened and worsened during the day, and the wind speeds picked up and it got colder, I didn't film as I was focused on getting to the hut. I didn't want to lose functionality on my phone. I couldn't risk it. So Mount Howarth was the last stop before the hut. And it's sort of a dome-shaped, treeless mountain, as I crossed this, it was probably about 3 k's of dome. The sleet smashed into my face. It's estimated the wind speeds at that particular time were about 80 to 90 kilometres an hour. It shook me up because it felt like it was going to push me over, and it just didn't feel safe. And I was getting tired, I was wet, it was extremely cold. There was some timber top kids behind me, looked around, and they were there for probably the first kilometre of crossing the top of Mount Howarth. And as I crossed, they weren't gaining on me, which surprised me. They were going about the same speed, and after a while they turned around and went back, and I thought, well, that's not good. Because those timber top kids are pretty hardy. If they're turning around and going back, they were obviously heading for the hut too, but they'd abandoned it because it was just on the top of Mount Howarth was the conditions were all appalling, and I thought dangerous. But I had pushed on. It was the hut all broke. I got to the turn off, which was great, and the weather improved a little as I got closer to the hut, and then it was another 2 or 3 k's to the hut from the turn off, and boy was I glad to get there. There was lots of people sheltering at the hut. Lots of the timber top kids were sheltering and their minders were sheltering at the hut, and they had a fire going, and it was great to get in out of the rain and dry off and have something to eat. About half an hour after I got there, the Victorian Uni students, they'd just come across Mount Howarth too, and they were pretty shaken up, and most of them were pretty scared because it was scary going across there, and they were glad to be getting warm and having something to eat in front of a fire and drying out. The next day, the timber top students left and headed for home. It was just the first group of uni students and myself and their tutor, and they sort of adopted me, I suppose. If they played cards, I did it. If they went for a walk, we did it. So I got involved in what they were doing. It was great. They're a lovely, wonderful bunch of people that it was great to get to know. So it made the hold up for 5 days and 4 nights good. Then another group arrived the next day. Similar thing, trying to shelter in place and get out of that horrible weather. It's a sensible thing to do. And then on another group came in on the next day after that. So there was 3 groups of Victorian Uni outdoor ed students. The next stage for myself and them was to walk across the cross-cut saw, which was a ridge line about 4 or 5 kilometres long. And every day we had a little bit of internet if we walked up the hill. Every day it was foul weather and lightning, so we just kept getting, each day getting a new weather update, and it was always bad. So we went for walks, as I said, played cards, did lots of gear reviews for outdoor ed students. They love that. Lots of fire tendering, and one of the students got sick, and we had to medically evacuate him. So we had to walk him out 5 k's. It's a picture of us there under the shelter as we got him out. He was quite sick, but I believe he's all right now. Day 5, we all set out together across the cross-cut saw. I went with the group that I'd spent the most time with and got most attached to. They're, as I said, a great bunch, and it was a real buzz to head off on a hike with them. And then the second group of students got pretty close to them too, because I was with them for 4 days, and I caught up with them and hiked with them for a while, which was really, really good too. And it was a great day for views. We were high, elevated, and we could see a long way, and it was just, it was beautiful, and we're all feeling like we're on a high. And then I moved on, and I had to get to my campsite, so I had to belt along, so I did. And it was really strange because once I left those guys, I was completely alone, and it was full-on wilderness and solitude. Next is some footage of some of our walks, and then our walk out of the hut and across the crosscut saw. I think when we walk through, it disturbs them. Butterfly meadow. How cool is this? That's the cross-cut saw. It's walking along a ridge line, and it's quite technical. Probably took us 2 or 3 hours to get through there. There's one group of big uni students. Somewhere there. There they are. There they are. And just spinning around. And there's the other group, there's Jenna's group. There they are there. So this is going up Mount Speculation.
The green tree?
Yeah,
Can you see? Yeah.
A field of flowers on a slope.